That was weird. Hello, and welcome back to the Rusty Ferret podcast. Thank you so much for coming back. It's been a while since I have sat down and actually done a show and tell type podcast. But I hope you've been enjoying the shed DIY diaries type thing. I am hyped to have a space that is mine for dying in, and yeah, I'm so excited. I realised though, I never introduced myself on the podcast. So, hello, I am Leona, or LJ, as most people call me. I am the owner and dyer and everything else of Rusty Ferret yarn. And I have recently moved to the northeast of Scotland. I'm in my dye studio shed. It is a shed. I'm going to call it the dye shed. Because it's so hot. Guys, it's so hot. I don't even know what temperature it is. Let me check. It is 3:10 in the afternoon and it is 23 degrees. The shed is the coolest place I can find. So I will apologise. I am literally sat on the floor up against the wall. I have hung some crochet beside me to make it look less uninviting. So I apologise. The conservatory is just sweltering right now. So I did contemplate in the paddling pool. But I thought that would be weird. That's a different kind of video, isn't it? So I hope you are all managing to keep cool. As I say, it's ridiculously hot. Climate change is a real thing, so I have loads of things to show you because, as I say, I haven't really been sitting down doing a bit of a show and tell. I like show and tells. I like showing stuff. Let me speak about this guy first. I made this a while ago, but why did I buy him? I bought this kit a while ago as a treat for myself. I don't remember why. I don't remember what the treat was. And I'm going to get the name wrong, so I'm going to put it on the screen, because I get it wrong every time, and I'm going to read it off my notes. It is lalylala. 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 She is an amazing amigurumi designer, and I thought this one was just so much fun. I have had no space to put him, but he's going to come and live in the dye shed with me. My favourite thing is the little cow. And if you pull the cow, it falls on your head. Oh, God. It plays the X-Files theme tune. And as the string goes up, it looks like he doesn't go right up, but it looks like he's been abducted. Let me just fix this. I am an absolute disaster. Oh my goodness. Right, sorry about that invasion. So where was I? Yeah, so the cow gets abducted and it plays the X-Files theme tune, which is winner in my book. I will securely secure him to the roof going forward. He is literally, as you saw, on some dowel with some hooks. Oh God, the heat's getting to me. I'm also going to apologise for the state of this. As I said, it's too hot and there's nothing I can do. I am a sweaty beast and it's just how things are. I have some whips though. Let me show you my Effervescent. Oh, she's finished. I will also say, I'm not going to wear any of these right now. It's too hot. I will film myself when it's cooler to show you off, and I will put it over me talking. Yeah? Cool. So my Effervescent jumper is finished. This is the Effervescent, just the Effervescent jumper. So this is the Effervescent jumper by Aimee Sher, and I adore it. Me and Dr. Mia are going to be twins, and Morag when she hurries up and gets hers finished. Where do I even start with this baby? Look at this ruffle, this mohair ruffle. I'm all about it. I'm all about the ruffle. I never know where to start talking about patterns. Like, I'm going to start by doing this. No. The yarn I used is my own yarn, Rusty Ferret. The main yarn is what I call doll, because it's as smooth as a Ken doll. Thanks, Steph, for that one. It's our 75-25 superwash merino nylon base. So just our, I always call it our basic, but I know hand-dyed yarn isn't basic. That's not what I mean by basic. And it's dyed in our WWVGS colorway, which is what would Van Gogh say. Louis Scully named it that, or gave me that idea. And I really, yeah, it's a really nice, although it's normally a sock yarn because of the superwash and the nylon content, it's a really nice yarn for doing things that are going to get a little wear. If you want, because it's so smooth, it's quite a silky looking fabric, so it's got like a nice drape to it. It's not too heavy, so if it's something you want to put on, I'm a really hot person, and I like to put layers, because if I put a big jumper on, I get sweaty, and then I'm dressed like this underneath, and then I'm too cold. Whereas if I have something like this, and then I put on my jacket, I can take the jacket off, and this is still a bit of a cooler layer, and it makes me look cool. Yeah, so pattern wise, it was a really, really nice knit. I worked on this, sorry, it's too hot to hold that up. I worked on this while we were kind of moving and packing and things, and while we were staying at my mum's, and yeah, it was a really nice distraction from what was going on. Now, let me remember, because it feels like forever ago that I started this. You start on the bottom edge and you work upwards. You're knitting in the round, so most of it is stockinette stitch. Yeah, stockinette and stocking is the same thing. So most of that is kind of quite mindless, which is really nice. Then you get to the yoke where you stop. You do a sleeve and a sleeve. Again, stocking stitch, dead, not thinking. Then you join it all together and you work this like lace motif. Again, if you can knit purl yarn over, knit two together, and that's it. I think that was all the things. You can absolutely do this pattern. And then you just work up to the neck. The ruffle is an absolute optional extra. If you would like to put a ruffle on, which I suggest you do, you basically just pick up the stitches and knit it on. There's nothing fancy done. It's just picking up stitches and knitting. Because you're picking up a lot of stitches, it gives it that ruffle shape because of the whole, what is it again? There's more surface area than surface, so it like shrinks it up. Like a hyperbolic plane. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I haven't actually tried this on yet because it's been too hot. Have I said how hot it is? So when I put this on, you'll have seen it. It'll be the first time. So I don't know how it looks. I hope it looks good. But yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I'm excited to wear it. And yes, I'm excited to wear it when the weather cools down a bit. I think it's going to look really cool on top of like a black dress with some Converse. Or, well, yeah, that's what I wear, so that's what it's going to look cool with. So yeah, that's that done. Put you away, you heat monster. Okay, so my next finished item is not knitted, but it is sewing. So my birthday was back in July. And I decided that on my birthday, because I think it was like a Wednesday, I was going to take the day to do some sewing for myself. It took me longer than the day to sew, because by the time I had the pattern organised and cut out and my dog was not helping, it took me like 2-3 days. But I started it on my birthday and I got it finished. So let me show you. Again, I'm going to put some video over here because this is just too, it's a thicker material, so it's too hot. But this is the Fringe blouse and dress. I have done the dress option by Chalk and Notch, and I got this pattern off the foldline.com. Highly recommend the Foldline. It's like a database of patterns where you can buy them, but like Ravelry. It's not all the patterns in the world, but it's a good place for a search and a look. Sorry, I'm going to shift about because I'm on the floor. What can I say about this dress? I've made one of these already. I made it when I was down in at Whistlebear. Alice gave me some beautiful pink floral 70s style fabric, and I love that dress, so I wanted to make another one, but more, well, I was using fabric that I had. So this is actually an old fitted sheet. By old, I mean it was in my uncle's house when we moved in and it had never been used. Old, not like used, old. I'll just dig myself in a hole. I'm good with words. And I thought, oh, that's a good fabric because it was a double size sheet. I don't have a double bed, so let's use it. So the fabric color was this like really light blue, and light colors do nothing for my complexion. So my plan was to ice dye it once it was sewn. So it's just a really basic a bodice top with just a wee skirt. I did add, I think I added 2 to 3 inches in the back to get some more pleats because I wanted the bum section to be a bit more floofy. I really like the neckline on this. It's got the like the band and it goes up, so it's like a V-neck, and then it's got the little tabard sleeves. I'm showing this at the computer when I should be showing it at the camera. I also had these buttons that I made. I made them out of resin and some stars that you're meant to put on your nails for nail jewels. So it was nice to get those used. And then I just ice dyed it. So ice dyeing is really cool. It gives you these really geological shapes, I would say. So what I did with this was folded it up in the skirt, the repeats really. I concertina folded it, which was dead awkward. So like you know when you make like a paper fan, like that, and then put elastic bands at different intervals down. Then I put it in a horseshoe once it was all tied. Put ice on the top, then put my fabric dye, my powdered fabric dye on top. Did I get the other way around? Did I do dye then ice? You get different effects depending on the way you did it. I think I did. Oh, good question. I'll have a photo and I'll pop it up. I think I did dye then ice. Maybe. So as the ice melts, it dilutes the powder dye and it pushes it through, so you get that kind of bleeding effect. If you have a specific kind of dye, like depending on the colour is what I mean, it can split the dye, so you get different colours coming out. So this was just a grey dye and a black. Yeah, so you can see that there's blue on there that's come out of the colours that go into making the black dye. There's also a bit of yellow. Yeah, so can you see that it's split a little bit here? And there's a bit of yellow. It's all very interesting. So you can do, with this I just did one colour, but you can do loads of colours. I mean, if you Google it online, you can do different types of folds, and you put the like certain colours at different heights. So if you've got loads of like if you make your fabric so there's loads of peaks in it, you put one colour up here and one down here, and it like melts down, and it's just really cool. So did that, finished another dress for my wardrobe, some fabric used up. I'm all about using materials that you're not conventionally meant to use. Fabric's expensive, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of budget. I feel a bit guilty buying really nice fabrics. So yeah, an unused old bed sheet is perfect. It's cotton. It's all good. It's all good. Just a bit of an hassle to take the oh my god, elastic. It's the heat. The elastic off the edges. That's it. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. Again, I had that on yesterday, and I nearly died because it's quite a heavy cotton. So, if I could be in my pants right now, I would be in my pants. You guys don't need to see me in my pants. Okay, let's move on to whips, because obviously life is too short to not have any whips. So, I like to sign up for test knits sometimes because they're fun. I like being able to test something for somebody. You normally get the pattern for nothing, which if it's something you're going to knit anyway and you've got the time and the yarn, go for it. So I saw Victoria. Now, her name is written Marchant. Marchant. Her name up here would be called Victoria Marchant. I think it's maybe Marchant. I'm gonna have to check with her. I'm just gonna call her Victoria for now. Victoria put up a post on Twitter about her new design that needed tested, and it was called Foundations. And Victoria's kind of business ethos is about making garments fit. They should be accessible to everybody, or as many people as possible, and her patterns are quite adjustable for the different. So her patterns are written so that they can be modified to fit as best as possible. So for example, somebody with my chest size might have a different size of arm to me. So they might have smaller arms, they might have bigger arms. Somebody with a really large, bust circumference might have a different body length than somebody with the same bust circumference. Does that make sense? So the pattern that I'm working on has these considerations. So my brain's going 20 miles an hour. So the pattern has these different options so that you can make something that's going to fit you as best as possible, which I love. And I just love her body positivity generally. It's something that I have struggled with a lot of my life. This is the biggest I've ever been. And when I was the skinniest I was ever, I was constantly called fat. And I wasn't fat. Anyhow, that's not important. So, I can show you this much, and then you're never going to see it until it's finished and the pattern's released. Just because that's what we've been asked. We're allowed to show whips, but obviously to keep finished objects on the DL, which is fine. But I am working on this jumper. Wait, that's the back. So, I am nearly finished with the body of this jumper. Now, let me get the right side. There's threads everywhere. I apologise. So, here we go. Now, the one of the things that really drew me to this pattern, this test knit, was that you knit it using two strands held double, 2 4-ply strands held double. And I was like, I have a bag of yarn that I would like to use held double. That would be perfect for that jumper. This was, so in one of my Knitting Goddess bags, I have a bag of grey. This came off my, it was called the Cardi Brie, and it got its name changed. I'll put it down below. I had used like 8 strands of 4-ply, held together. It was too heavy. The cardigan was too heavy. Loved the cardigan, didn't love my yarn choices. So Mum and I ripped it out and detangled it all. So I literally have a bag of grey ends that I really liked the kind of marbled effect that the grey together with the different colours was. It looks really different on camera than it does in person. So yeah, I thought, oh, I can use those. Most of this yarn is my yarn, Rusty Ferret yarn. There is a heap of other yarns in there too. I think there's some Easy Knits, this rainbow stuff. There's some recycled yarn from Alternate Universe down in Cleve. What else? I think that's it. I think there's also some Ginger Twist in there. But I'm really loving it. And I have gone full chaos mode with my yarn pairings. I'm just, once one ball finishes, I take out another one and start. Hence why the front looks, minus the shoulders, which I love, the front looks more put together than the stripy back. I just went ham. I just went for it. So I'm really looking forward to having this quite wild jumper for kind of autumn times, because it's going to be a nice throw on. It's like a cropped, it's just a nice crop jumper that I love wearing. I think it really suits my body shape. And they are cozy. So that's what I'm working on so far. You probably won't see this until the pattern comes out now, so I will show you once it's finished. But if you are a person, if you are a kind of person like me who, wants things to fit but really struggle with your body shape because you're not, straight shaped or straight size or something, 100% look up Victoria's patterns, because they're so far loving it. So 10 out of 10. Keep your eyes peeled for when this one comes out. I might make 2. Shh, don't tell anybody. I have enough yarn to make 2. And that would get it all out my stash. And I'd have 2 jumpers. They'd look totally different. But can I knit the same thing twice? Who knows? Okay. Are we ready for this? The quilt. If you have been following for a long time, you know of my quilt woes. I made a quilt using fabric that I had, and I put it all together, and it was too small. It was so small. And I was hoping for a double bed size, like a double duvet size. And it was more of like, it was no good. So I unpicked it all. I ironed it all. And I've started again. I dyed fabric to go with it. I did more ice dyeing. Okay, I'm a bit obsessed with the ice dyeing. Okay, we don't need to talk about it. I dyed some more fabric of like a colour that I thought would go in. They turned out brown, whatever. And I'm really happy with it. So I have a quilt top. I have a quilt back. And the wadding just turned up today. So we can get moving. So I am going to just hold this up to camera, but I will put a video in of this quilt better. Da-da-da. So here is I did some various ones of the dyeing. So I did some various techniques, different folds, different colours. As I said, some of it turned out quite brown. So like these ones here are quite brown. The dark blue. Some have got purple. I did so this was purple and blue. This one here. And then there was some other, they're just kind of a bit mix and match. So I'm really pleased with it. I can't get it all in the frame just now, but as I said, you'll have seen that. So that is the quilt top. I also dyed the quilt back. Now, can we go back to using fabric that you've got? This is another duvet set that I had that had never been used, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to use that because let's not waste textiles, shall we? And I would have just bought a cotton anyway, so I dyed, again, I'll take a better video of this standing up. This was also ice dyed, but differently. I hung this from, I'll put a photo in. I hung this up in the garden and let the dye like streak down, and it looks really cool. So that's the back. I don't think it matches the front too well. How do people do this normally? But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So, as I said, the wadding turned up today. I just went with this from the woolwarehouse. The reason I went with it was because doubles normally are like 195 centimeters by 200 centimeters, but my quilt's like 203 by 203. So this I've got a bit more. It's like 205 by 243. So I'm gonna have a bit extra. It is 100% plastic, which wadding is expensive. Limited budget, so we decided to go with what was affordable. Also, it means it's allergy friendly, which is always important, because Mark can't deal with, he's just a bit of a princess, really. So yeah, that was from the woolwarehouse, and I am excited to get stitching. I've decided, probably against everybody's better judgment, to hand quilt to this quilt. Sorry, little cow. You've got like, what was on your face? Just a bit of fluff. I love watching Janelle from Rosary Apparel, and she made a quilt, and she hand stitched it, and Erica Eccles, Lisa, she hand quilts her quilts, and it just looks good. I have made quilts before. I mean, I'm not by any means a quilter, but I have done quilts before on the machine, and my machine, I don't have a long arm machine, and the wrangling up to get it in, I think I would just enjoy the hand stitching better. It also means I can take it with me and like work on it in the garden. I don't have to be tethered to the sewing machine. So that's what I'm doing. I may have regrets, but we're gonna go for it. I also found this in my stash. I think this is just a cotton thread. It looks like what Janelle used. And it is green and purple, like light green and purple. So I thought, one, I think that's going to look like it kind of ties in, right? Two, it means it's going to get used, which I'm all about using things. I'm at the stage in my life where I'm trying to use things that we've got that would otherwise just sit. Like, you know, all the hair gels you buy and never use because you didn't like them, or what's the other thing? Like, let's see, we've moved in it's my uncle's house, well, my mum's uncle's house, but my uncle's house. He had like 7 of everything. So like cleaning products, he had like 7 bottles of carpet cleaner, 7. So I'm trying to use all those kind of things and just get it down to just what we use. So getting out my stash. So I'm excited to sit down once I've done my test knit, and get quilting, and then I'll be done. Oh no, then we'll have to bind it. I'm gonna put the binding on with the machine on one side and then fold it over and hand do the other side, because I cannot stitch. There's a way of doing it so you can't see the stitches. I can't do it. I've tried. I can't. I'm not a tidy machine sewer. I'm not a tidy hand sewer, but I can definitely do it by hand, whereas I can't do it by machine. So that's where we are with the quilt. Huzzah! 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 Everybody's very excited, aren't we? Yes. Yeah, so I'm looking down at my list. Yarn acquisitions. Yarn acquisitions and future projects I'm going to lump into one because they are one of the same. And I don't know which one to start with. I'm going to start with this. So, while I was putting in my order for the wadding, I was like, I bought a punch needle a while ago. Was it the start of the pandemic or was it before that? When everybody was getting into punch needling, I bought one. This is an adjustable one. And I tried, must have been before the pandemic because I was at the shop. Oh, jeez. I meant just before the pandemic. I tried using it on different, like Hessian fabric and that, because I was too cheap to buy the real fabric. I saw that the Wool Warehouse had the real fabric, and it wasn't too dear. Where's my receipt? Oh yeah, well. So it's like 50 centimeters by 140 centimeters, and it was $14.75. I thought that was fine. You know, don't do what I did. Don't use the wrong thing because it just all falls apart. I should maybe tell you what punch needling is, right? Have you seen punch needling? You basically have a punch needle. You put the yarn through here and up and out, and you just poke, and it makes loops. And then it's like what a tufted rug is. People have been buying, well, I've noticed a lot recently. There's been a lot of artists with tufting guns that it does the same thing, but it's a gun, it's mechanical. And they're making really cool, like, little art rugs and big art rugs and things. But this is the manual version. And you use this thing called monk's cloth. So it's like, it's an Ida. I don't know what. It doesn't say what the. Oh, it's by Rico. How funny. But you need like quite a tight woven grid, and you are basically just stabbing it through. You put it on a frame or like an embroidery hoop or something to keep it taut. And yeah, so I wanted to play with that. So I also got some yarn to go with that. Was that a good description or not? So I got some yarn. I just went for some acrylic because I want to make a cushion, and I just thought acrylic would be the best thing. So I went for these colours. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing. I have a rough idea with some shapes and things. But yeah, so this is, what is it? It's Wendy Supreme DK, 100% acrylic. But it means it's going to wash good, it's going to wear good. It'll take some beating on a sofa. So I went for the yellow, does it say? Sunshine, baby pink, white, and mid-grey. So I went for those bad boys. Again from the Wool Warehouse. And I have a cushion insert. I bought some really nice cushions and thought I could machine wash them. They were screen printed on the front, and then they had a plain colour on the back. And the fabric on the back turned everything, well, it was red fabric, turned everything pink. And the screen print washed off completely. So I have two inserts that I kept. Because that's what you do as a craftsperson, you hoard everything. So I'm going to work with that. So I think I'm just going to do it on the front and then put fabric on the back. I think. Might do both sides. Because there should be enough material here. I hate when you buy a nice cushion and it's got nice on the front and then it's got like nothing on the back. So maybe I'll do both sides. Because glutton for punishment. That's why I did buy 2 balls of yellow. So yeah, that's going to be a fun new hobby, because I need more new hobbies, right? Also, secretly, I really want the Tufton gun. Excuse Scamp. Scamp is my neighbour's dog. He's a little terrier, and he likes to make his feelings heard. He's very cute. He's very sweet. So yeah, that's going to be another hobby to add to the collection. I bought it and never really got to properly use it, so I need to. Just let me have it, okay? Anyway, my cheeks are sore. This is like the most I've spoken in ages. Secondly, I went to do some messages today at the post office, mainly, and I was wandering down the street, and as I say, we've moved back up to the northeast where I'm from, so a lot of things are the same shop wise, but a lot of things are different. And I was wandering down the street and I saw this beautiful crochet display in a shop window, and the shop's name is Molly Bobbins, Mary Bobbins, and it looked like a kids clothes shop. I just assumed it was a kids clothes shop until I really looked and was like, we're a Serdar stockist, and I'm like, that's a freaking wool shop. I'm gonna go in there. So I went in and they had a good selection of, Serdar, because they're a Serdar stockist, and there was some West Yorkshire spinners, there was some fabric, there was some knitting notions and things, so it was a nice wee shop. The lady was really lovely. She was confused as to why it was so busy. The town was busy. It's hot, the beach was packed. So I thought, well, it would be rude to come into a yarn shop and not buy anything. So I got this ball. This is Rico. I really like this. How pretty is this? The yarn just spoke to me and I was like, I need to have you. So it's the Super Ba Vintage 4-ply, 100 grams for 20 meters, 75 virgin wool, 25% polyamide. So yeah, socks. My mum really likes cozy socks for wearing in bed for when it gets cold. She likes purple, winter. So I bought this. And then I bought this. This is a wild card. So, this is a long story, and if you subscribe to my newsletter, which you should link down below, you will find out. But I'm going to tell you also, but you can actually see this. We are going down to London in October because Mark got me tickets to see the Totoro stage show by the Royal Shakespeare Company. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Like, they did Spirited Away, but they only did it in Japan, and they had like puppets and they had stage sets, obviously, and it's a live orchestra, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And he was like, there's tickets to see this, and it's at the Barbican, and do you want to go? And I'm like, hell yes. We are up in like the gods. We got the first round of £13 tickets, so we are like high, but I don't care. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna see it. I'm so excited. So obviously I need a Totoro jumper to wear to go, right? Because that's the level we're at right now. And I found this jumper. I'm gonna put a picture if I go this way. No, there. It was a collaboration with Studio Ghibli and Louis. Yeah, Louis. And I saw it and I was like, I need that jumper. I can't afford that jumper. But I'm gonna recreate it. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but I'm gonna take inspiration from it. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna get that done for going in October. And I have a different plan. You should totally be subscribed to my newsletter. Wait, this will go up after. It'll be on my blog. I will post it on my blog. Again, link down below. Then you can see like my thought process, because everybody wants to see into my mind. But yeah, I thought, oh, right, okay, so I'm going to need some art yarn, faux fur yarn, because that jumper's got loads of different textures, and I thought, do you know what? I can go charity shops and see what's kicking about. I used to have a stash in the basement of the shop of so many yarns like this, that people had just given me or donated, or, you know, you acquire things as one of these people's a yarn shop owner. I did anyway. And I'm like, oh, I wish I'd kept everything. There was no space to keep everything. Anyway, so I saw this and I was kind of like, well, you're coming home with me. So I bought it. And this is going to go in the Totoro jumper bag. It is Serdar Touch irresistibly soft fur from a plastic animal. Yep. She is 50% nylon, 50% polyester, and 100 grams, 67 meters. It cost me $3.99. It is very soft. This kind of wool always makes me think it's shiny bees. Shiny bees, I love you, babe. So yeah, so that is my yarn acquisitions for yarn. Oh no, it's come off. Oh yeah, there's a free snood pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the other things to show you because I can't fit them here. As I said, I'm literally sat on the floor. Okay, I'm back. All of a sudden, it's very sheepy in here. I don't even know where to start this story. My mum, Mommy Fluff. She didn't like that. Granny Ferret, Mommy Ferret. My mum volunteers at a petting farm. That sounds terrible, but it's a farm where they rescue animals. It's called Waulkmill. I'll put a link down below. You can go and you can spend the day there. You can take a picnic, and you can basically play with the animals all day. I'm not gonna lie, if you're having a bad mental health day and you're up this way, I 10 out of 10 recommend. They have a lot of goats, and you can go in the paddock with the goats, and you can cuddle them, you can jump on the trampoline with them, you can brush them, you can just have a good time. There are donkeys. There's some of the animals you can't really go in with, so the goats you 100% can, and there's also some sheep, which we'll get to. The donkeys you can't go in with, and the pigs. So there's some kuni pigs. There's a big old just pig kind of pig. There's a baby turkey at the minute. I think they've rescued a baby basset hound. He's very cute. There's some ferrets. They're not tame. They bite, but they're very cute. They have meerkats. So yeah, like, it's a really cool place. So mum volunteers up there, and my mum is so amazing. She just makes friends with everybody. And the owner, Nikki, they acquired a black-nosed Valia lamb called Waller. I don't know how they acquire these things. If I could find out how they acquire these things, I would acquire these things. But anyway, Walter. So he's a black-nosed Valia. And when they got him, I was like, Mum, they'll shear him, right? And she's like, yeah, she gets the shearer in, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I would really love to have a go at spinning Walter's fleece. Because you don't get that opportunity very often, really. So, Mum had said, and I had said, I just want to play with it. So, like, I could do, like, because they're all about learning, and they do a lot with, so they do a lot with, like, learning everybody, I suppose, about the animals and different things, and they do a lot of kind of therapy stuff, in terms of kids with additional learning needs, or, you know, they do a broad spectrum of things. Anyhow, I said, well, I could do like an info board thing, so I could show the different stages of Walter's fleece being, you know, washed and spun, and I could knit it up, and they could have a sample for people to touch, and blah 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 blah. So Mum said to Nikki, blah blah, and Nikki went, hell yeah. So they were shorn recently, all the sheep, and I have gotten Walter's first cut. And it's beautiful. I am gonna have to, I have a picture to show you because I don't want to retake it out here. But I'm going to show you what's on the top. This is obviously not Walter. Now, I wrote the names of these sheep down. Yeah, so they have other sheep there, and Mum's not 100% sure what these sheep are, so I've had a bit of a guess. But I have two in here. This is going to be really awkward. Is from a sheep called Lanny. This is Lanny's. It's just a bit of a fleece. And because they were using some of the fleece for paths. I know, don't. So this is Lanny. No. Sorry, this is Mikey's fleece. We think Mikey is a Herdwick. I am going to message Nikki and ask. But going by, this is really like grey. I think he's a Herdwick. I showed a picture of a Herdwick to Mum, and Mum's like, yeah, that looks like it, so it could be a Herdie. So that's Mikey. And then there's Lenny. Now Lenny's a Soy. Oops. So he's got the beautiful, where are we? Brown with the bleached tips. So I'm going to be washing these guys up and spinning these also. But they smell so glorious. It's really awkward to take out here. Oh my god. The shed smells like sheep. This is Walter's fleece. Get with him. Oh, man. I'll put a picture in of Walter. I stole this from their Facebook page because I haven't actually met Walter yet. I will go up and see him. I don't even know how to get this out, but look at these logs. Look at them. Now, Blacknose Valia, I think it's Valia. I'm going to call it Valia. Their fleece is not known for being used for yarn. They're mostly used for carpets. Now, that might be when they spin up, they're a lot rougher. But I can tell you, this is really soft. So, can I take this out? Let me see. As it's, yeah, look. It's still got its poops in it. Look at it. I'm so excited about this. Yeah, look. I'm trying not to break any of it. But look at these logs. I'm going to move the microphone up just so that I'm not bashing the fleece off of it. But my plan is to do the stuff for Nikki and that. Spin it. So do the different stages. So it dirty, it washed, it carded, it spun, then it plied, then I will knit something with it. But in my brain, how do you think this would look? Like a waistcoat, like a knitted waistcoat, but with this, like a mane. Obviously it'll be clean, but like a mane. Like, do you not think that would be the most amazing thing you've ever seen? I'm very excited. So yeah, so this is Walter's fleece, Walter's first fleece. So obviously that'll be a bit softer than his future fleeces. I'm a lucky girl, and I can't wait to wash it. Rub that on my feet, because they're all. This is the bit. Look, we got a poopy bit. So fleeces. I am not a pro fleece washer. I'm also going to make a video of doing it because I thought that would be cool, because that's something I would like to wash. That's something I would like to watch. But also it means that they can like use it on their Facebook and things like that. So as I say, I am excited. I'm a bit intimidated, and I won't. I mean, the weather's really nice, so I should probably wash it soon. Maybe that's what I'll do at the weekend. Maybe I'll start washing this at the weekend so that they're washed at least. And it can get dried in the sun. I think that might be a good idea, actually. What else was I going to say? Yeah, video. I've talked about that. So yeah, that is all. So much, isn't it? That's what I've been up to. You've seen the other thing that I've been up to, which is the shed. We have the roof done. Do you know what? You can go watch the videos of the process. The shed roof being done, and then the painting. We've painted the outside, we've painted the inside. We've got the new window in. And we are, well, my mum and dad are currently working on the kitchen that's coming in here. My mum's old kitchen. We're a family that keep everything. So I'm getting mum's old kitchen units on this side. We've got a worktop on this side. And then I get to buy a disco ball. Because yes, we're having a disco ball in here. So that's kind of everything I've been up to. No, it's not. The one last thing I need to share with you is my new tattoo. I'm so pleased with this. Look at the tan as well. Like, look at that. I've got my suntan cream on, don't worry. This tattoo was a gift from my husband for my birthday. Charlotte Ross, big shout out to her in Dundee. She did this. She's done nearly all of my tattoos. This baby. This is a blackbird with a blue hydrangea. The reason I got a blackbird with a hydrangea is so this side of my body has become like memorial pieces for grief. Like dealing with grief by getting a tattoo. It's kind of working, it's kind of not. So the first grief tattoo I got was my anchor for my granda. Charlotte did this one kind of at the start of her tattoo. Well, mid. I mean, I don't know. Like, she wasn't at the start, but from now to then, it was middle. But probably still at the start. An anchor for my granddad, because he was really involved in the Boys Brigade. He was the captain of the Boys Brigade, and their motto is steadfast and sure, and their symbol is an anchor. So I got an anchor with, you can't see that upside down, Grandad on it, and that was the first one. Second one was when my gran died. Charlotte again. Can you see? It's a rain cloud on my heart. That's not where your heart is it? So my gran, so my mum, this is my mum's dad, my mum's mum. She had really terrible dementia towards the end. Well, for a long time before the end, but she had dementia. And she was obsessed with rain. She didn't like the rain. And you know how people with dementia can repeat things a lot. Her thing was, is it raining? So I got her a wee rain cloud. Maybe a bit ironic because she didn't like the rain, but it just reminds me of my gran. So then Mark's granddad died, and I don't want to say that grief is worse, because I'm not over my gran and granddad dying. You don't get over that stuff, and it's still really painful. But I was younger, whereas with Mark's granddad, there was a lot of stuff that went over with it. Anyway, that was a weird noise. So I really wanted to get a blackbird tattoo for him, because they had a blackbird in their garden that used to come in the house. It used to get fed raisins, and it would come in the house for its raisins, and it was a cheeky wee shit. And I don't know, a blackbird just reminds me of his granddad. So I got a blackbird. And then it would just be weird on its own. So I got a hydrangea because they're cool. So yeah, there's my blackbird and my hydrangea. I love him. The photo, the blackbird is actually taken from a photo that Mark's granddad took. I sent my inspo pics to Charlotte. Like, this is what she knew. This is why I was getting it because I'd spoken about it for a while. And sorry, I'm just sitting with my knee up. And so I was like, this is the blackbird photo. I really love him. And she basically just drew the blackbird, like he's identical. So I'm very pleased. So no more deaths, please, though. Can't deal with it. I'm gonna wrap everything up now because I feel like I'm really tired. I thought it's so hot. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap things up now. It's really hot. What time is it now? 4:15. I'm gonna go and get a drink because it's too hot. How many times can I say it's so hot? So I think I'm gonna wrap things up now because my cheeks are getting sore from talking. I hope that you are keeping really good. Thank you for indulging me in showing you all the stuff. I'm actually away to start another project. The window that came out of the shed, I'm gonna make a cold frame. So it's like a greenhouse, but it's lower. Usually use it for like starting seedlings and things, but you can't grow stuff in them. And I have some massive wooden doors that came out of our bedroom. There was my auntie in that big cupboard. Anyway, so I'm gonna weigh as a little treat for doing my jobs today. I'm gonna go and take the doors apart because they're like different bits of wood put together and figure out how to make this cold frame. Watch me break some glass. It's like did you see the window in here? It's a huge pane of glass. It's bigger than me, height wise, and wider. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I hope you're not too hot, because it is disgusting. I hope you're having a really good day, and I hope you have some exciting projects lined up. Let me know. Oh. For me. Where was I? Not too hot. I don't know. I'm gonna go. Love yous all. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, tell me about your projects down below. I need to know. Tell me. Okay, bye. Bye. Oh. See, I bash this every time. Look at the tan. Oh. I'm gonna die this time.